right, so welcome to Just Drink It. I'm Barbara.
I'm Annie.
And today we're going to be talking about Knob Creek, Kentucky straight bourbon, aged 9 years. Most bourbons, they're usually aged about 3 years, give or take. They're not aged, some are aged this long, but not all of them are aged this long. The minimum aging requirement for bourbon is 2 years. So,
To be a bourbon.
to be a bourbon, yes, it has to be aged at least 2 years. Knob Creek is made by Jim Beam, and they use the same mash bill for all of their whiskeys, including because they make Knob Creek, they make Booker's. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. So they have the same secret recipe that they use for all their whiskeys. The only difference is their aging process. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what type of barrel you use will affect the aging of the whiskey.
Makes sense. What is mash?
So, so the mash bill, that's a good question. Glad you asked. So the mash bill is everything that goes into the mash before it gets distilled. So it's the grains, the water, and the yeast.
Okay.
So basically it just starts off like a beer, but no hops.
Oh, that makes sense.
And bourbon's mash bill has to be at least 51% corn.
Okay.
That is all we know about.
We know for
sure
sure there's 50.1% corn in there. Oh, and really quick.
Yeah.
Do you like Jim Beam?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. It's good in a pecan pie.
I don't know if I've ever had it.
Well, we'll try it. I'll go buy a bottle. Always another one to buy. Yeah, so what can you guess about using 51% corn in a mash bill? Would you say? How does that, you think, affect the taste?
Good. How does it affect the taste?
It makes it really sweet.
I guess of
Because
course.
corn has a lot of starch and sugar, so bourbons are always going to be sweet. It's just a guarantee that bourbons are sweet. That's something this is a good beginner whiskey because it's not overly sweet, and so it's not going to turn people off from it.
Yeah, I like sweet things, so
I mean,
it's probably
syrup.
like a happy medium.
Yeah, it's like a syrup.
I do occasionally just drink syrup.
Bourbon is 51% corn, aged at least 2 years, and it has to be made in the United States. And it's also, and this is a big thing, it has to be aged in charred oak barrels, new oak barrels though. The barrels have never been used before for anything else, and it has to be charred. And there's 4 different levels to charring. And that's just how long it's exposed to the fire. Knob Creek is level 4, and that's the highest char, so it's been exposed, the barrels are exposed to heat for 55 seconds. Yeah.
Nice little roast. So what does charring do for the flavor?
So it does a few things. Charring purifies the whiskey itself. The charcoal, I don't know if you know, charcoal water filters.
Yeah. Or like a charcoal face mask.
Yeah.
Pulls out the impurities.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually, but that's what it's supposed to.
Yeah, but well, it actually does it here.
Yes.
So it attracts the gross stuff or the impurities that you don't want in the process. It also breaks, when you do it, it breaks down the hemicellulose into these 10 basic sugars, and that's where you're going to get your caramel flavor, and it's going to make it brown, a dark brown, and the brown sugar because of this charring process. Guaranteed sweet, guaranteed caramel. Yeah, brown sugar. All right. So you want to learn a little bit about Knob Creek?
Yeah, tell me about Knob Creek.
Okay, so Knob Creek is part of Jim Beam, and it was made by Booker No, and he is part of the 6th generation of Jim Beam. So they've been keeping it in the family line since
cute.
yeah,
love
since
that.
the founding of it, and I will just put up the date because I don't remember the date. And Booker's goal with this was to make a small batch type bourbon, or like a pre-prohibition style bourbon. And he is the one who coined the term small batch. When he did that, it basically helped the whiskey market really expand and grow, because now you didn't have to mass produce the whiskey, and it really helped with the craft distillery get started when they did that.
Is Knob Creek like a elevated Jim Beam? Are they like comparable in price or no?
So yeah, this bottle, like their 9 years, so like their flagship, it's gonna run about $30, $30 to $35, and a bottle of Jim Beam's like I think 16, 17,
Okay.
maybe 20.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, it's a little bit because they age it for so long, and they also are only picking out specific barrels from their warehouse. I think their warehouse where they're aging everything is like 7 stories tall.
Oh, wow.
It's tall, it's big. And they are only picking the barrels from the middle too, for their Booker and for their Knob Creek.
Okay.
So now we get on to tasting.
Yay, the part I've been waiting for.
Alright,
Just kidding, I was waiting for all of it.
first, it's just, we smell it.
Oh, you want to cheers?
Oh yeah, we can cheers.
I smell wood.
Yeah, I mean, there's oak. You smell any caramel?
Maybe.
I
I
smell
don't
some.
have a very good...
That's okay, well, just you keep doing this and you keep practicing.
I feel like I'm getting high. Off the fumes.
So, it is sweet,
Yeah.
but it's
it is
not
sweet.
super sweet. Like
No.
some,
It's like a good happy medium. I'm not someone that likes to drink things neat normally. But this is good. I do like this. I'm probably gonna say that every single time.
I'm
Like, I don't drink
No.
it neat, but for this one I would. What is that flavor? I mean, it tastes like whiskey, but like, what does that taste like?
what does it remind you of? Think of other things that you might eat.
Honestly, oh, that I might eat. Okay. But it reminds me of, I think I say this about a lot of alcohols, but it reminds me of like a perfume, like a cologne. It's like kind of,
Okay, well, vanilla.
oh yeah, vanilla. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And nuts.
Yeah. There you go. Alright, you ready to cut?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I'm thinking about pouring into the cab.
Why are you being so slow?
Well, because you're not supposed to do that much. Just like a little bit.
Oh, can I drink it like this? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it this way.
Much less of a like burn. It's
Yeah.
not even a burn, it's just kind of a tingle. But there's less of that.
Yeah, I would recommend if you're kind of new to whiskey, you might want to first start off by cutting this a little bit with water if the burn really bothers you. Like I said, I think there are some ryes that will kick your butt pretty bad, and this just doesn't. But I could see if you're not used to drinking whiskey that you would be like, But the best advice I got on how to sip whiskey is just sip it like it's hot, really, really hot. And like don't let it aerate in your mouth, like swish it down.
Tamp out the burn with your tongue.
I think with like a lot of people, like when they're first starting out, like I think they think like, oh, the more expensive the better it is. But if you're like not used to trying a lot of whiskey, like it's fine to just do something cheaper. And that's why like I think that's a really good beginner whiskey.
And it's so cute. I love these square bottles that
yeah.
look like they're from a pharmacy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the point, too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, bang for buck, do you think that bottle's worth what's usually priced at, $30 to $35?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely... I think a bottle, like the bottles of Makers that I used to get were like $24-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good.
You think it's worth spending like a few extra bucks to get that?
I think so. I mean, I love Maker's Mark still, but I think if I was wanting something a little bit different, this is definitely worth it. So what do you think are like the main things people should take away?
Okay, so the main thing you should take away from this is if you're wanting something sweet, you want something that's not gonna overpower, it's got a little bit of burn, it's pretty easy to cut with water, very easy to find in most stores, pretty reasonably priced, $30. Pick up a bottle in Knob Creek. It's I think a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, I think so too. I liked it.
All right, and next week, I don't know what we're gonna review. It's always gonna be a surprise.
I can't wait.
Yeah. We're probably gonna stick with bourbons for a little bit, and then we will branch out from there, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.
Just drink it.
Just drink it. Cheers.